Oh, hello. Alright, today I'm going to take a look with you at my freshly received molds for the 110 Vintage F1 project. So this is the two-part mold. I'm missing the helmet. I have a lot of sculpting to do on the driver. Other than that, everything is here. There's actually the third part, which is the super tiny windshield mold. So this is going to be the mold that goes and double side tape on top of here to have a little windshield for our driver. Now let's take a look. This is where the body post is going to come through the louvers. We have those links to the rear just to make it look like the links to the axle. The axle comes out this way with the side wheel. This side is the spur and the diff with the axles as well. We have our trusty little driver with his seat at the back. We have the fuel filler back there. All the gauges, the space for the steering wheel. The steering wheel is going to be like so. I'm gonna have to do some cutting and put it on the body when it's finished. And the body over there slides up at the back. This is not part of the body. And then for the front part, you have a lot of louvers on the sides. You have those over there that are recessed, which is where the exhaust is going to mount. You have air intake, you have cutting areas for the front assembly, and then you have some parts that are made to look like the actual part of the suspension system. We have our little belt systems over here to attach the hood on each side, same on the other side for here. The hood scoop that is actually going to be functional once you open it, and then you can see the details in the front. You have the front grille, and you have those two openings on the side that are not going to be headlights. Those are going to be grills as well. They're going to be stickers, and the front here will be cut at that line, so a little bit up. And then okay, at the back, this is the plastic parts that is the rear diffuser at the back of the car that is going to go and slide underneath the car over here. But this is where the chassis is going to end. This is the big tail that we're going to have at the back. We have those two super long, so you can get a good idea of the scale of that body. This is going to be a substantial car. The chassis itself, it is to scale to the size of that car perfectly. The size of the wheel, the diameter, the thickness of the wheels, the wheelbase and so on is in proportion to that. And as well, if you fit it with the F1 tires front and rear, it is true scale to the actual dimension of an actual F1. It's a little bit wider, but the wheelbase is correct compared to the diameter of the tires. So I can't really change the width of the car. I don't think you want to have a 165 wide F1 car. That would be a bit weird, but the long wheelbase is actually true to scale to the F1. So something to note, because I'm working with the same chassis on an F1 version, modern F1 version that might or might not come out. Work in progress. Okay, the other part, we have the razor for the rear. So that's just a 13mm razor for the pod at the back, and like I showed when I was doing it on the video, you have all those scale details that you would see from underneath the car, underneath the opening. Similar for the front, 10mm raise with the usual Tamiya slots to mount. So that means the chassis, of course, is going to be able to receive any other kind of spoiler or nose. And then it's just a little chassis details for the side here, just because we have the body post mounts for the sides that are as well going to serve as stiffeners for the side of the chassis. And then we have the gorgeous wheels. So this is the front wheel with the bearings, drum brake at the back. Similar, let me find a rear wheel. Okay, this is the rear with a 16mm F1 X inside, the big drum brake. And so this is the hollow version. That's the version that I wish to be able to use on the car, but I'm gonna have to test the strength And in order to compare the strength, I have done as well this, which is the non-hollow version. So it still have a pretty deep and pretty clear look to the car, but the back is all full. So those are heavier, which is not going to play in its advantage compared to that for the strength, but the fact that there is a full disc on the inside. So this I'm going to have to drive and see what comes of it, but I'm really pleased with the look that these have, and these with a bit of paint. The lock over there is going to look fantastic. The nice rudder for the drums are going to look really cool once they are painted and then given a little bit of road dirt. And then last but not least, the amazing V12 motor that is going to be sitting underneath the hood here. And so of course, like I explained, the hood scoop can be opened over there, and then it would blow air into the motor, and the motor being completely hollow, if you have your battery or your ESC below it, then it will cool down either one of them. And so here you go. This is another scale part that is going to look fantastic once it's painted up. There's a lot of really cool detail. The throttle rail for all the carbs, the free carbs, the manifold, and then those structures are just only to mount it on the battery mount over there this way. So yeah, boy oh boy, I'm really pleased with all of these parts. So now it's going to be time to clean up the molds, test the molds, see what works, what doesn't work, repair the damage that were done during shipping. Gonna have to sculpt all the clothing over there, because you can see at the moment it's very basic shapes, but as I have done for the back mono and go-karts and my other cars, I'm going to sculpt by hand the clothing, so to give him a more natural, more realistic look and stop having all those ugly vertical lines. So here you go, this is a first look at the Vintage F1 project. I'm going to have the prototype chassis for it probably early next week or middle of next week, so I'm going to be able to pretty much build a prototype by the end of next week, I think, and might have the track to reopen by then, and if that's the case, then it's going to be perfect to go and test it out. So on that note, I hope this little project inspires you as much as it inspires me, and I'll be back with more updates as soon as I have some. Alright, see you everybody, bye bye.